And Penn's really battled back.
I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah, well, third period
Is
just
it is it preseason?
no, it's
Real deal.
yeah, first game of the year. Oh, I don't know what to do. I was thinking, gotta hit the intro. This should make for an interesting show.
Ready for bed already? Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah, all right, let's hit it. What is going on? Welcome to the Pamphlet on Kelly Digital. Check out Kelly Digital on iTunes, Spotify, I don't know, Stitcher, and also iHeartRadio. We're on the iHeartRadio app. It was funny. I looked the other day, and we get a lot of hits. No, not a lot, but a lot of hits for us off there.
Yeah, that is interesting.
How
I wonder how that pops up on there. I don't really know how that all works. You know how things get found or discovered on there. So
right. Yeah, it makes
discovered.
just think they like give you some numbers so that you keep posting on there.
It's all lies.
Fake news. So what's going on? Anything?
Not too much. My headaches are gone. Survived my first stroke, so
Oh, there you go.
an update for you guys. Yeah.
Update. He's here.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully you don't need to replace me just yet.
Yeah.
I like to make it through all the Halloween shows because those are fun.
You know what I was thinking this week while I was watching A New Nightmare was we should be doing it would be nice if we could do Scream Queens, but there's not like enough of them to do, you know, of our regular format, but I don't even think it's enough for the draft format.
Probably not. There isn't very many. Did you see there's a new Halloween coming out?
Yeah, it looks pretty good too.
And it's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it. Right. The original Scream. She's probably number one Scream queen, I guess. But she is like 100 years old, and she's killed her brother like, I don't know, 50 times at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, her and her brother did not get along. That's a hell of a sibling rivalry.
Yeah, now, is Rob Zombie doing that?
No, he's out of it. He only did the two. And I did not know this, but a lot of horror people do not like the Rob Zombie movies.
Really? I love that first Rob Zombie Halloween.
Yeah, that was good. The second one kind of sucked, but the first one was good.
I'll be honest, I don't think I ever saw the second one.
It was very unremarkable.
Yeah, so I guess I won't make a point to watch that. But I thought the first one, because it delves into his childhood so much, I thought that was cool. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, the kid, the childhood part of it was the best part of the movie. But I mean, I thought overall the whole movie was pretty awesome.
I wonder why they don't like it.
I have no idea. I think because they wanted the childhood of Michael Myers to be a mystery. They didn't like they thought, I know one of the criticisms was they thought it was a bit of a ripoff of Jason Voorhees with the mother stuff. But you know, a lot of serial killers have mother issues. Actually, like 90% of them have mommy issues.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I mean, that's legitimate. Storyline. I don't know if that was the intention originally with Jason or Friday the 13th. The first Friday the 13th, a lot of people don't even realize that Jason wasn't even in it.
No.
He wasn't like, you know, that mask and that whole persona wasn't in it. I mean, I guess they do it with Spider-Man's, they do it with Batman. They like redo the same story over and over again in different ways. But I like seeing like I wouldn't mind like a remake of not the first Friday the 13th, but like the second one. You know, they kind of have done that, I guess.
Yeah,
But
they did it in like 09, I think it was.
yeah, it was like more modernized where this college
Yeah,
kids go out to the house.
a
Yeah.
lot of boobs in that movie.
Oh, titties everywhere. It was Titty City. You know, you have to have Titty
That
City
was
in a
Titty
horror
City.
movie. Yeah. That was I think we went to the theaters to watch that, didn't we?
Probably. We used to always go for the horror flicks.
Yeah. I would like to go to Halloween, but I don't know. No one will go with me. I'm too
Yeah.
old for this stuff. So
Same here. And the wife doesn't like horror movies at all. So like she's out automatically.
yeah. So you just have to go like a creep at noon.
Dude, I've
gotta work.
since I've moved on here, I have actually gone to the movies by myself.
Yeah.
Pretty loose.
I think I went one time or twice. There was things I wanted to see, and no one was like in the mood to go to movies or something in college, I think, and I just didn't have anything to do on like a regular weekday, so I just went. That loser move, but sometimes it's kind of nice. You don't have to be bothered with like if you take a date. I mean, yeah, you want to pay attention to the movie, but it's a pain in the ass because you're like, I don't want to say it's always a pain in the ass, but like you're worried about whether they're liking it, you know. So you can just enjoy a movie by yourself like a weirdo.
That's a perfect example of that is when I went to go see American Psycho. I was like 15. I know I was young because my mom drove me there. And we it was actually her and your mom because they went and saw Double Jeopardy, and me and this girl from Crafton. She went to Carlington. We went and saw her choice of movie, American Psycho.
Cool.
Now, if I was there with you or by myself, the whole movie, I'd just be like, this is fucking awesome. But boy, when you're 15 years old and they're in the middle of that threesome scene, when he says, well, don't stare at her ass, just eat it.
Yeah.
It gets a little awkward.
You know what's funny about that? You brought that up. We did top 10 what was it, costumes on Tuesday. If you haven't heard it was a funny show, but and basically I had Patrick Bateman on my list, but I forgot to explain him at all. The costume I saw was like him with that see-through plastic raincoat looking thing with the hood on it, and his hair, the guy, it wasn't him, it was a guy like dressed up like him, and he had his hair all slicked back and he had an axe. I just thought that was like an awesome costume, but I didn't argue for it because it wasn't like there wasn't much to it, you know. It was just that. Right. We love that movie. So
with a shirt and a tie underneath. But yeah, the one movie I went and saw by myself was it was a movie that you should go with somebody so you can make jokes.
Yeah.
But it was Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I was like I didn't watch that in theater or anything. I watched that at home on the couch. It was on HBO or something. And I don't like Will Smith. He irks me in everything he's in.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this movie's gonna suck. And I thought it was good. I mean, I don't think he's good, and I think he's too old to be doing that shit.
I mean, Will Smith in it. He's Will Smith as Will Smith in a Will Smith movie.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. I don't even know why they would waste the money paying him to be in that, because I think they could have got someone that was much better, because he doesn't bring anything to the table, in my opinion. But he'll be in all of them if they continue to make those, I would assume.
Yeah. I thought the movie was good overall. I mean, it was fun. It was a fun popcorn movie for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done that. I also have gone to sporting events alone. Have you done that yet?
I've gone to. It's another thing I've done in college. Like I've gone to. I don't want to say obscure, but like if there's not much going on, like I'll go to like a girls' basketball game, just like
Yeah.
Just I mean, you can go and there's no one. I don't want to say there's no one there because it makes it sound like it's but there's not really in comparison to the men's games.
Well, it's because it's girls' basketball.
Yeah, you can go sit on down on the court.
You throw a jersey and a wig on, and nobody would know.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that I've taken to going to like when the Penguins are in town. I'll go to the games down here. I'll go by myself.
Yeah,
I'll just sit there and watch hockey, and it's not a problem.
Yeah.
I drove all the way over to Tampa to watch the postseason game once.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, I've never even gone to a playoff game here.
Mm-hmm.
So to go down there, that'd be pretty cool. Where you were probably like, well, there was probably other Penguins fans, I guess.
Yeah, but I was completely surrounded by Tampa fans.
Were they giving you shit or?
It was weird. There was like 2 people giving me shit, and then 2 people beside me apologizing for their fans being an asshole. Really, we're not all like this. We're all pretty good. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
everybody was pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, that's like a cool story. Like Quaid told the story about they went to Green Bay.
Yeah.
With like Bills, he went with Bills fans and how cool it was and how nice everyone was.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But like for us, like Pittsburgh, if you go to Cincinnati or you're going to Baltimore, I mean, it's it's not just a rivalry on the field. It's a rivalry with the fans. You know, I mean, you could be a good sport about it. You don't gotta be fist fighting, but you're not gonna be shaking their hand saying, "Oh, I'm happy that all these Baltimore fans are in my stadium."
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
Especially with Cincinnati fans lately.
Yeah. Yeah, because Cincinnati is, I don't know. Those games, you'll see, what do they play them? Not this week. They play them next week. I mean, those games are so chippy. The players are fighting. And, like, that one game when Shazier got hurt, that was probably the, like, closest to, like, a barroom fight that you could see on an NFL field.
Oh, yeah.
Every play. And I mean, it's awesome, but personal fouls everywhere.
Yeah. But they give us the Juju Smith-Schuster hit.
Yeah.
He needs to drop the Smith or the Schuster.
Juju Smith-Schuster. Yeah. Which one?
Juju
Schuster, Juju Smith.
Juju Smith.
Yeah, probably Smith. He's not gonna do it though. Is that like he's not like one of those guys. Like he was too young. He's not one of those guys who got married and took his wife's name too.
No. His dad probably did.
Yeah. Dude, was it Maurice Jones-Drew? It took his wife's name, or there were some people. I don't know. I don't want to talk shit on him, but there are players who have taken their wives' names, and like their names too. It's like, dude, you're a pussy.
You don't want to talk shit on him.
No, I'll just be a dick, but yeah, he does need to lose. I mean, they'll just call him Juju, which is probably will end up in this culture end up being considered racist some way.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, he's not Jewish. Maybe he is. I don't even know.
Yeah. So I don't know. That not a good segue thing. The Smith-Schuster thing, is it?
Nah, that's all right though.
So let's
I was gonna say we can get into the wire and just
yeah, I forgot that we even have this.
Might as well use the button.
Yeah. Got the clicking because it's supposed to be a newsroom.
Yeah, definitely is.
Jackhammered all day, all day, and
your whole body shakes.
Yeah,
like a week after that.
Exactly. And it's not just like you're jackhammering in South Florida, which is the devil's asshole. I don't know if you knew that or not, but it's a very swampy, steamy, god-awful place, and it's the worst place on earth to jackhammer.
Yeah. It's not cool enough down there yet, I guess.
No, fuck no. Not even close. Walk out in the morning, it's like 7 in the morning and 90 degrees. It's like, it sucks.
So when do you particularly like the weather there? Is it like November to March type of thing?
Last year we got really lucky. It was nice from, I would say, mid-October to mid-March.
That's nice.
Now, there have been a couple times since I've been down here where it's like January to mid-February.
So it stays hot all the way through December.
Fucking hey, it does.
Wow. Well, we went down for your wedding, and I mean, we loved it. We came down there. It's like New Year's Eve, first week of January, and it was 80, and we were in the ocean. You know what I mean? It was like, that's pretty nice for people from Pittsburgh. We're all of our pale skin out down there. We're on like a bunch of ghosts on the beach.
Well, the weather was great that weekend. Like it really was. But it's funny, the first year like I like moved down here full time, I was working the day before Christmas Eve. And I just remember like getting really like overheated and thinking to myself, like, holy fuck, Christmas Eve is tomorrow. And like
I got a heat stroke.
Miserable.
See, it's places like that are fine for vacationing.
Exactly. It entices you with the bikinis. You know how many times I've been to the beach this year? Twice.
And you live there. Yeah.
So, you know, if you're thinking of relocating, just remember the beach, just remove that from your mind, because once you live here, that doesn't really exist.
You're working all the time.
As much now. Yeah, exactly. Because then when you get to your weekend, you don't want to drive. You don't want to be like in traffic with all the fucking assholes down here. And believe me, there is a plethora of them. You got to go park. You have to pay to park, which is lousy. You got to take all your shit down to the beach, take it all back, make sure your feet
sand everywhere.
Sand everywhere. It's like not relaxing. Like when I lived in West Palm Beach, I would go to Jupiter, which I'd have to pay for parking. It was probably 20 miles away. Not 20 miles. It's probably like 12 miles away. It was like 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. But I'd go there. There was no parking. The traffic was a lot less. Or no pay to park. It was like free parking. Park right along the beach, the shoreline, and just go right onto the beach. Go there, drink a 6-pack, hang out for a couple hours, and you know, get up and leave.
Yeah. Drink and drive.
Yeah, it was it was a relaxing day at the beach. It's what you think of as a relaxing day at the beach.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore, especially once you get kids in there. Fuck, you'll never see that beach.
And if you do, it's gonna be a nightmare because you got kids and all this shit.
There's no relaxing with kids at a beach.
No, sharks everywhere. They look like little morsels of food for them.
Little nuggets floating around there.
Little chicken nuggets.
Yeah. It's like the fun size candy bars just floating in the water.
Yeah, you know, you just eat them all one bite.
Nope. You like melt in your mouth so you get the flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I go places like I go to Arizona, and when I go, it's nice. I go like November or I go in February, and it's nice. But if you lived in Arizona in the summer, you wouldn't leave your house because you couldn't. It's 115 degrees, and it's just like the sun just bakes you. I mean, it's crazy. Now that I was there, and we stayed at a casino, and we were playing cards, and we were talking to this dealer. It was funny. I was myself, my dad, another guy from Pittsburgh that shoots us, another guy from Avella. So we're all from Pittsburgh. Then there was 2 other people there at the table that we were playing at. And the 2 other people had at one point lived in Pittsburgh, and so did the dealer. So every single person there at some point in their lives or currently lived in Pittsburgh. It was just bizarre.
What I've noticed is Pittsburgh is a lot like Ireland. There's more people everywhere else than there is in actual Ireland.
Yeah. Like everyone's Irish all over the world. They've lived there, but they're Irish. Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah.
I went to New York. It was upstate New York by Syracuse. We're staying at a place up there. Go to this really nice bar. It's like on the 21st floor of this like casino hotel, and we started talking to the guy, you know, the bartender. We're like ordering a drink before dinner, and he's like, "Oh, you guys are from Pittsburgh, huh?" We're like, how'd you know? And I don't think I have an accent, but
Yeah,
obviously, oh, geez, yes, it's terrible. But see, it's like something that if you live here, you don't really notice it. And I mean, I'm not like a complete yinzer, like there's some people that are terrible, their Pittsburgh accents are really bad, but he's like, yeah, I can tell just the way you guys talking. We're like, well, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Verona, PA, like, which is around Pittsburgh too. And he moved up there, and where that casino's at is actually in Verona, New York, which is, I don't know why I'm telling you this story, but it was just funny. No matter where you go, everyone picks you out of a crowd. And they're like, oh yeah, I've lived there, or I knew somebody there, or something. So,
but, it is that city that everyone calls home.
Yeah. No one wants to live here, though. I don't blame them. Right now, it's nice. It'll be nice pretty much through October, but, it'll rain. But then November, first couple weeks in November aren't too bad. It'll start cooling off pretty good. And then it's like it gets miserable. Everything's dreary and gray and cold and just sloppy.
I miss dreary and gray and
cold. Well, see, like whenever I'm at home and it's February, I'll switch places with you because by then you're like depressed. You haven't seen the sun in 2 months, so.
Right.
But well, we can get into this news. I mean, basically, we skipped a week. It was all Kavanaugh news. The week that we skipped.
Yeah.
Then the next week we came back last week, all pretty much Kavanaugh news because it was. All this shit was going on.
The hearing was the day that we actually did the show.
Yeah, so then the Democrats wanted an investigation. Long story short, a Republican Senator Flake backed them, said he wants to too, blah, 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 which is fine. Hey, let's do it. Let's get this process going because the way it comes down to is Dianne Feinstein had this information for 2 months before after the hearing was over, then she springs it on him just to throw a monkey wrench in to delay everything and hopefully get that Democrats to the midterm elections where they could possibly get some new voters in there, throw some of these Republicans out so they can flip the House. So this week they did the investigation. Since the last time we were on here, the FBI went out and I guess they interviewed all these people who were named witnesses of all these different sexual assaults or whatever is going on. And they've, from what I understand, everyone just said that didn't happen. Like they basically said this Ford lady is not telling the truth. So it's been like, but you don't ever hear them redact, any big news program, stations who have trashed this guy's life because of this woman or these people saying this stuff. They've completely trashed this guy's good name, and you don't hear them apologizing.
No, hell, they're doubling down. Oh, well, the scope wasn't big enough. It came out earlier this week. Like, well, he was involved in a bar altercation where he possibly threw ice on somebody.
Yeah, I heard that. And then some other guy came forward and said, no, that was me. Because it was actually a guy who ended up playing in the NBA, coaching in the NBA, was one of the people involved in it. And it was supposed to be that guy and Kavanaugh were in some sort of altercation. Kavanaugh threw ice. And then some other guy.
Even threw the ice?
Yeah, and then they said this other guy came forward and said, no, that wasn't Kavanaugh. That was me that was involved in that ice throwing. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true. But throwing ice even.
Yeah.
You know what? He's not the right guy. He's thrown ice in college.
He threw ice. That horrible human being.
I'll say one thing about Kavanaugh. He likes beer.
He does like beer. He loves beer. I'm just looking at my soundboard like, did I record that in?
We've been talking about that. I just don't get like how people, because I understand how the Democrats justify to themselves. They're trying to throw a monkey wrench in. It's just a filibuster, basically. But how do these people, like in the general public, keep buying into these horseshit stories and keep pushing? I see people on social media pushing these bullshit stories, and they all get
so obnoxious.
Oh my God. But it's like when the facts come out, the stories just disappear. They don't even talk about, oh, okay, yeah, I was just like basically telling everyone on my social media all these bullshit stories and like how Trump needs to be impeached because he was colluding with Russia. Oh no, he's not colluding with Russia. He's basically fired Comey to, the word is slipping my mind.
Obstruct
the justice. Then, oh yeah, but then he had this non-disclosure, and which in my mind is not. But if he paid with these campaign, why would he pay with campaign?
Fucking billionaire.
His lawyer paid out of what he gets paid as his attorney, and but it's just like it just rolls into one thing after another. Now it's, Trump should be impeached because he said that this victim Ford, her story is not believable, and he said that you're guilty until proven innocent in this country, and that's and that's ridiculous. He should be impeached for saying that. But you know what? That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, here's the clip you're referring to.
36 years ago, this happened. I had one beer, right? I had one beer. Well, you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Oh, good. How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know. I don't know. What neighborhood was it in? I don't know. Where's the house? I don't know.
Dude, he knows how to work a crowd.
Upstairs, downstairs. Oh, yeah. I don't know. But I had one beer. That's the only thing I remember. And a man's life is in tatters. A man's life is.
So yeah, everybody was up in arms about that this week. Like, oh, he mocked her. Well, like, here's the thing. She really, and she said it in a wounded fawn's voice. So I guess that's why we should take it more serious, because she sounded like a wounded fawn.
Or we should just believe her and not look at any facts or the other side.
This is all she really remembers, that she had one beer, that she was wearing a one-piece bathing suit, that she was pushed into a room, doesn't remember by who, that Brett Kavanaugh was on top of her, covered her mouth, and they were laughing and playing music. She remembers going into the bathroom. She, in one story, does remember hearing a conversation outside the bathroom, but in her testimony on last Thursday, doesn't remember. But she thinks they were talking. She doesn't remember leaving. She doesn't remember getting there.
Well, she doesn't remember walking past anyone leaving. Or she's. Yeah, there's only 4 people at this party, or I guess four or 5 people, maybe.
And that's another thing. You can't slip out of a 4-person party. You don't just like fade off. Somebody eventually is going to go, well, where's Christine at?
Yeah.
Have you seen her? No. We should probably, I don't know, look for her. There were 4 of us. Now there's 3.
Yeah. You know what's funny about this? It never happened.
No,
every person who was there said that would never happen. This thing that she's come up with in her head didn't happen. None of those people were there at this party in that area. None of them were even live in that area. So it's not her house. All the people she named, none of those people live where she's saying this happened. It's just like she made this up in her head.
Absolutely. And then another thing that came out was this past week, the story about the 2 doors, needing 2 front doors because she's claustrophobic.
Yeah.
A bullshit thing that came out, like that wasn't true. A boyfriend, you hear?
Her ex-boyfriend, yeah,
it came out, said she has absolutely no fear of flying. Actually coached somebody in the past of how to cheat a polygraph test. So really, it's not just coming out that like she misremembered. Like on Thursday, after listening to the hearings, initially I thought, yeah, she probably was sexually assaulted at one point, and I don't think it was him personally. Yeah. But like the more I thought about her testimony, how she sounded, her demeanor, all of this, I started thinking, you know what? I don't know. And then like the more you start connecting stuff, like she doesn't remember when she handed over, whether or not if she handed over her notes, her therapy notes to the Washington Post.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember when she took the polygraph test. She doesn't remember, or she apparently was afraid to fly. That's why she couldn't do it on Monday and had to do it on Thursday.
But traveled all over the world. And her ex-boyfriend says she has no claustrophobia. She's never mentioned for this event that's the most traumatic thing in her life. She's never mentioned Brett Kavanaugh's name ever to his boyfriend, ever. And I'm not saying, hey, people sometimes suppress these things, but you have the only evidence that she has is her voice.
Yeah.
She has no actual evidence. In this country, you have to have evidence. Otherwise, everybody would be in jail because someone who doesn't like him would just make up a story and have him put in jail. I mean, that's not how this country works. And you know, if something happened, something happened. But you know, it's not like it's just his friends there. It's one of her lifelong friends was there and said it didn't happen. You know, this story that she has isn't accurate. This is just, and it's not. I mean, at least that person stepped up and admitted that what she's saying did not happen. Because really, I mean, if any of these people had any witnesses that like were there, it would be a death knell for this guy. But none of them do.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and now what is the penalty for this?
Nothing.
You're in front of the Senate, sworn in.
Well, here's the thing.
He's not going to get on the road of proving it didn't happen, or or whatever.
Well, there's that, and then like the Republicans were very smart, and they played this very politically tactfully. Nobody went after her saying she wasn't a victim of sexual assault. They targeted the idea of like this wasn't the guy that did it, and that's even they even said like, well, she's as much a victim as he is in all this. Yeah, they played her up being the victim. Yeah. So they're not going to go after her. They're not going to look vicious. Like this thing has boosted the Republicans all around in the polls like crazy. Now they'd kill a lot of goodwill if they'd go after her, but really they probably should because I think she.
But I'm not even saying the character. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Not even the Republicans go after her. Kavanaugh himself.
Yeah.
You know, this guy is.
I know I would. I absolutely would.
Yeah. And I don't like Matt Damon, but he made a statement earlier this week. He said, I don't care if it costs me $10 million. If someone Me Too's me and comes up with something, I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it tooth and nail. And you better expect to get your ass sued.
So was that defending Kavanaugh or was that saying that he doesn't believe him?
No. It really didn't have anything to do with Kavanaugh. He's saying if someone did it to him, like it was almost like a warning to any woman out there trying to hit him up with one of these things. And I don't like Matt Damon. I think he's obnoxious. But I mean, I'd be the same way.
It's funny that he comes out and says that. Did you see his SNL thing?
I don't watch SNL ever.
Yeah, well, it was the big thing because he.
Maybe he was saying it like Kavanaugh should do that. I don't know. I only saw the quote, and to me, it sounded like he wasn't necessarily referring to Kavanaugh. It was more like if it were me. But see, you have to put yourself in Kavanaugh's shoes, though, too.
Right.
What's he gonna do? Get involved in a civil lawsuit? You know.
While he's on the Supreme Court.
While he's becoming a Supreme Court justice.
By the way, he will be. That is guaranteed. Right here. Here's a little bit of this.
At the Fox News, we're calling, whoa. Judge Kavanaugh himself is about to appear. So let's go live to the Senate hearing.
Hold on, I'll shoot it over to you. Where two of the oldest
white people I've ever seen are about to run a circus.
Yeah, make fun of white people.
Yeah. We're calling this meeting back to order, this hearing back
Skip
to
ahead
order.
to Matt Damon.
We're back from lunch.
He really does look like him. I will say that.
It does.
I wish I would have skipped the applause.
Judge Kavanaugh, are you ready to begin?
Oh, hell yeah. Tell you this. I'm going to start at an 11. I'm going to take it to about a 15 real quick.
Well, it's funny because you just said he would be pretty upset if he was Me Too'd.
Yeah.
First of all, I showed this speech to almost no one. Not my family.
All right, let's skip that door.
Because of a sham. A political con job orchestrated by the Clintons and George Soros and Kathy Griffin and Mr. Ronan Sinatra. Now, I am usually an optimist. I'm a keg is half full kind of guy. But what I've seen from the monsters on this committee makes me want to puke, and not from beer.
So, I mean, it was a sketch. I mean, he looks like him, so that helps. He got some of the expressions down.
Well, what's Kavanaugh's do? He just sits there and is getting his whole career trashed, his whole life, his wife, his children, his whole family, his wife and child, literally the first day during their hearings before any of this stuff even came out. Before any sexual assault like allegations came out, they had to take them out of the courthouse because it was like, I don't want to say dangerous, but it was like an abusive environment in the Senate hearing.
Right.
And then they come up with this bullshit. I truthfully, at first I said, hey, it doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter if this guy is the guy. In my opinion, I think get the right guy. But after hearing that and then seeing kind of like her flip and flop around on certain questions, and then afterwards these other people come forward and nothing's ever really happened, there's no proof of it. To me, it just makes me support the guy. When before I would be like, you know, I don't care. If I was all for, if there's something that needs to come out, let's get it out. Let's get him out of here and let's get the next guy out. Because in reality, people don't remember this. The Democrats don't remember this either. You know, Kennedy left, and it was basically a deal where he said, look, I'm going to leave, but I want you to appoint my guy.
Yeah.
And Kavanaugh's his guy. Well, the Democrats seem to forget that Kennedy is a middle of the road Supreme Court justice. He wasn't a conservative guy. So if anything, you're just driving a guy who's probably in the middle and possibly on your side in certain situations over to the other side. And then if you drive him out, the next guy Trump's going to put in there is going to be Pat Robertson from the 700 Club.
Yeah, it'll either be that Amy Cohen Barrett or Mike Lee is who you'll get if this guy gets driven out.
Which, for the conservative faction of the Republican Party, would prefer that.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. They would prefer that. They didn't really like Kavanaugh as their guy.
I didn't like him. I was very disappointed when he picked him, mainly because he was endorsed by Justice Kennedy. Like, that to me was like, I
wonder what the other Supreme Court justices think about this.
Ruth Gator.
Gator. Hey, Gator.
That Gator bitch.
Gator's bitch is very wearing Jimmy's.
She actually had a pretty strong statement against how he's been treated, basically.
I would hope so.
Because she's like, I got in on like 98 votes.
And she's the most liberal justice of all time.
And so she thinks, so even she was like, this is a bit ridiculous. I just got shushed by my wife.
You better keep it down, boy.
Better keep her down. Keep her on a leash.
You better start whispering. Use your inside voice, huh?
Shushing her back.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, they did this to his name's slipping my mind.
Thomas.
To Justice Thomas, and it was like a complete shit show. It was.
He said that was the pubic hair on my Coke can.
Yeah. I mean, that's when it started to get ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, Obama put people in and they got voted in. It wasn't like a complete joke. Like, it wasn't this shit show that was going on now or went on then. So,
yeah, Lindsey Graham voted for Kagan and Mayor. He told us about it, which he's been on a tear.
Yeah, yes.
Like, Lindsey Graham has been the squishiest Republican in the Senate for the last, I don't know, how many years has he been in the Senate?
Yeah, wow.
Been that long. He's basically been up McCain's butt, and
yeah, he wasn't a Trump guy at all. He is like, actually, I always said when Trump was like running or when Trump first got in, I was like, this fucking Lindsey Graham he's like a flake, basically, like Jeff Flake. He's not really a Republican in my, he just, or at least he's not supporting the Republicans or the Republican president. But something happened with Trump and Lindsey Graham, because this motherfucker, I don't think he's the biggest supporter.
Here's some of the Graham highlights over the past week. His 1 week of like conservative stardomship.
Did you meet with Senator Dianne Feinstein on August 20th?
I did meet with Senator Feinstein.
Did you know that her staff had already recommended a lawyer to Dr. Ford?
I did not know that.
Did you know that her and her staff had this allegations for over 20 days?
I did not know that at the time.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy.
Okay, that was from last week. That's why too.
Yeah, the Pens just scored, by the way.
Oh, did they? Were you watching?
Yeah. I think like 7-6. I can't really tell. It's a little blurry from here.
Looks like the game's about over too. They going, yeah. Hell yeah, go Pens. So then you had this today. We'll play this one first before his grand finale, which came in the middle of the week.
Take a listen.
Okay, so he's holding a press conference after the news broke that nothing new was found in the FBI investigation.
Okay.
Ford's claims were not corroborated.
You've humiliated this guy enough, and there seems to be no bottom for some of you.
So it would all be over, Senator.
So
Graham.
why don't we dunk him in water and see if he floats?
What is this? Like, these crazy women are in the halls of the Senate, and they're saying if he would apologize.
No, they're saying if he would take a polygraph, then we could put all the rest.
I thought she said if he would apologize. I'm thinking, apologize? They just said that he didn't have like all the evidence, like all the witnesses that she's named don't corroborate it.
And A, the funny thing is, like, nobody mentioned the polygraph beforehand, and B, polygraph science is junk science.
Well, it's admissible in
court.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah,
you know what a polygraph is for anyone who is accused of murder or because I've watched a lot of ID Network. All it is a tool that the police will use to their benefit. If you pass a polygraph and they think you're guilty, they'll just say it was inconclusive. Yeah. And then, or they'll put you in a polygraph situation just to throw you off during their interrogation. It's just, it doesn't work. Obviously it doesn't work. The courts don't recognize it. So,
and obviously you could be coached to beat a polygraph like Dr. Ford did for a friend.
Well, Ford supposedly, I thought it was something. What I read was, I thought she participated, maybe because news stories do come out and they end up being bullshit. And sometimes I just see bits, but it was like something where she worked at Stanford on a CIA funded thing dealing with polygraphs. Like she's almost like an expert when it comes to polygraphs or something involved in some development of polygraphs. And dude, you need to shave that fucking chin. I want to see that Fu Manchu next week. But sorry to throw you off there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you talking to me or?
Nick has just a goatee, but he could have the most glorious Fu Manchu if he would just shave the fucking front of his chin up.
Well, like this is actually pretty long too, because I didn't touch it with the clippers when I shaved the beard off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's starting with some length.
Yeah,
I'm gonna really like get out there this time.
Get some ZZ Top going.
Find a new way to piss off the wife. All the old ways are getting tiresome.
Yeah.
But here's Lindsey Graham's best moment of the week, though. This came on CNN where he said, basically, I don't give a fuck.
I hope he's successful. He's been a friend to me, and he says some things I don't agree with. So if you don't like me working with President Trump to make the world a better place, I don't give a shit.
And there you have it, Senator Lindsey Graham.
So I guess we're in a world where senators say shit on network news.
Yeah, I guess. Well, ever since shithole countries thing happened, network news feels like they can just swear all the time. Everyone's swearing anymore. Ever since then, they said shithole, or what they say, did I say shithole news? I meant shithole country. But they basically, shithole news, whatever you want to call it, but they basically said shithole that day.
CNN, shithole news.
Yeah, basically. But they said it like 1,000 times that day. So
that and also when the grab him by the pussy line came out.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, you heard some comments on CNN.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's been a lot of things. The Democrats are so dirty, like with the shit they do.
They got pussies.
Yeah, they got some. But I mean, they do like the skeeviest things. Like they had it was a Democrat. I think it was a senator's aide. He basically doxed a bunch of people, which is basically releasing a bunch of personal information of the senators on their cell phone numbers, their home addresses. And this is the Republican senators who are on the council that are overseeing all this hearing, for Kavanaugh. So, I mean, and this guy got arrested because that's illegal.
Yeah.
Apparently. So
you can't dox people. And plus, like, there are serious threats of violence out there currently.
Apparently there's ricin and every other damn thing they're sending to these people. If you didn't hear about that, Ted Cruz, Mathis, and I believe a letter to Trump all contain some white powder. I'm not sure if any of it ended up being ricin.
Some of it was cocaine, the other was ricin.
Was it really cocaine?
I don't know about the cocaine part. But the one to the Pentagon and the one to Trump both tested positive for ricin.
Huh.
And that's not the San Francisco treat, if that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, and well, the thing about that is that's not an easy thing to come by. You have to be very calculated in what you're doing. Like that's Unabomber type intelligence to come up with, because you're not buying it. You have to actually make it. You're probably gonna have to make it. I don't know. I don't think it's all available on the black market.
On the dark web, maybe.
On the dark web. There's dark web stories.
A hitman and some pedophiles.
Yeah, in ricin. But I mean, you can
buy a nuclear weapon on the dark web.
But I mean, this is what the Democrats and their supporters do. Okay, they shoot up baseball games. They
shit out of Rand Paul. He's cutting his grass.
Yeah, beat Rand Paul up in his yard.
He was also at the game that got shot up too. The baseball field.
He's on the hit list, apparently.
Yeah, he's like, dude just needs to stay in the house.
Yeah, he's been pretty quiet lately, though.
Yeah.
So he's probably like, all right, I had enough of this being in the face of anything. So you get shot up, you get ricin mailed to you, you get beat up in your yard, you get run out of every restaurant you go to. by a bunch of people screaming at you, and they're screaming a bunch of bullshit based off of zero fact.
Yeah. Believe survivors. Okay, she's not a survivor.
Yeah.
She's an accuser at best and a liar at worst.
Yeah. I mean, based off of just the way she described the funding for her, sorry, I'm going to look at something real quick. Based off her funding for how she's paid, the GoFundMe, and then how she's got to pay for this or that. She's like, well, I have friends in Silicon Valley. Well, you know, it's probably tech companies who are ultra against Trump because they've made themselves very clear they're against any conservatives.
That's my friends Jack and Mark.
Yeah. I was trying to see. There was a funny thing that it was just like what these people who like they said they're Democrats and they're for Black lives and they're for this and that. And it was a black guy who was talking. He's like, that is the biggest bullshit statement ever. And he's like, look what they did. What's the girl's name? The black girl they were screaming at and throwing water all over.
Candace Owens.
Yeah. He's like, and they're screaming white power, like whatever. Black lives matter to her. A bunch of white people screaming at a black person, screaming Black Lives Matter and throwing water in their face. I mean,
fuck your white power.
What a fucking joke.
So, like, all you white people have the power in this situation, screaming to a black woman, fuck your white power.
Yeah.
Here's when pussy was said on CNN.
We
got an ad.
With lack of gun safety in this
good.
Elizabeth Warren ad.
Elizabeth Warren. We'll skip that.
Yeah.
Can I just say that
Anna, quickly, I have to get to break. I'll bring you guys back, but go ahead.
This is great.
All this shaming of each other on TV.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I got to share this with you because you got to look at, I guess that's Scotty Nell Hughes in the middle, but you have to look at her eyes when she drops this. It's priceless.
Really, let's not do this, guys. None of us are on the ballot. The people that are on the ballot are Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and we are judging Donald Trump. If you choose to believe him, if you choose to believe him, if you choose to make excuses for him, that's your choice. That's your choice.
And then be responsible.
My choice is to consider him a disgusting man who has consistently disgusted me from the first day of this campaign. And I think that every single Republican is going to have to answer the question, what did you do the day you saw the tape of this man boasting about grabbing a woman's pussy? Period.
Okay. All right. We'll
Please stop. My daughter is listening.
Scotty, don't tell me you're offended when I say pussy, but you're not offended when Donald Trump says it. I'm not running for president. He is.
Yes. And I said,
okay, so then don't act outraged and offended when I say the word that you're not offended by the man who you are supporting is saying. That is just absurd.
I was offended by him saying that too.
We'll be right back.
CNN.
Yeah. Bob Beckel looks like Jabba the Hutt. He looks terrible.
What didn't Scotty Nell Hughes didn't she bang like some Shrek looking motherfucker at Fox when she was there?
I don't remember.
I think she tried to like jump in on the Me Too thing, but like there were some emails that were
she was game.
They were steamy. They were about as steamy as Connie Chung's Me Too story. Did you see this?
No, I didn't. Connie Chung?
Connie Chung.
She's married to Geraldo?
No,
Mari. I always get this mixed up. I said that before. I was like, oh yeah, she's married to Geraldo. And our cousin Angela was like, no, she's married to Mari. Or something. I got mixed up. Wait, are they both married to Asians? Is Geraldo married to an Asian?
Is he married?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay. So I'm going to try to get into where she actually gets into the, okay. So basically she went to her, she was getting kind of familiar with her boyfriend back when she was in her 20s. This happened like 50 years ago.
Zip. Let me get my pants off real quick.
Yeah. You're going to get ready for this one. So she went to her gynecologist, who actually delivered her as a baby, and started asking about birth control and all of that stuff. So let's see. Okay, so again, I cannot remember the exact date or even the year, yet I could still describe in following details. He drew the curtain, asked me to remove my clothes below the waist while he sat at his desk at the bay window. And then she skips. Okay, here I was in my 20s. I had never had a gynecological exam. I have never seen the exam stirrups before. It was extremely odd to spread my legs and dig my heels into those cold iron stirrups. Now, mind you, this isn't a letter to Penthouse Forum. Before I go forward, this is not a letter to Penthouse Forum. This is a Me Too accusation. Hashtag believe survivors, whatever. While I stared at the ceiling, his right index finger massaged my clitoris, while his right middle finger inserted in my vagina. He moved both fingers rhythmically. He coached me verbally in a soft voice. Just breathe.
Yeah, you're a creep, Nick.
Mimicking the sounds of the soft breath. You're doing fine, he assured me. Suddenly, to my shock, I had an orgasm for the first time in my life. My body jerked several times. Then he leaned over, kissed me, and pecked me on the lips. And he didn't even charge her a copay.
He didn't.
I don't know. That's just editorial note.
Oh, that'd be awesome if he did.
He still charged her.
He charged her double. So wait, Connie Chung wrote this to Penthouse.
No, she wrote this to Christine Blasey Ford as a letter of support.
So what did Penthouse have to do with nothing? You were just making that up.
Yeah, because Penthouse has the Penthouse forums.
Okay, yeah. So I don't even know. I'm an idiot.
Like that's such a weird description of like. That's such an erotic description of.
Yeah, the way. Yeah, it's
assault. Yeah.
So what did she do? Like when that happened? Like did she go to the medical board or the police or anything?
No, she came and then zipped up.
And came back the next day for her next appointment.
Yeah.
Huh.
Smoked a cigarette because it was the 60s, and then,
I don't support that.
Smoking's bad for you.
No, I mean the whole event for her. It's shocking.
Yeah, it's it's probably true. I mean,
probably. I mean, she should name the doctor. He's probably dead now.
He is. He died in the 80s.
How convenient.
Yeah.
Why don't we name some of these people whenever they're doing it and try to stop them from doing it to other people?
Yeah.
It's like the whole Harvey Weinstein thing went on for 20 years. It's like everybody. It just goes on and on. Everyone just lets it slide. And I get it, it's an embarrassing thing, but then if you want to come out now and say, oh, these old white men are bad, but you didn't do anything to stop the ones that actually may be bad, and they've done this to other people. Like, it's just, to me, I just wish they would have come forward. And if your doctor's doing that to you, that's inappropriate.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm not.
Shame on him.
Shame. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I've heard that clip.
Oh, is that from Game of Thrones?
Shame. And they ring a bell. Ding, ding. Yeah, there's like some naked woman walking down the street. I don't know the whole. Yeah.
Is it the blonde?
It's not the one you're talking about, like the one with the dragons. I guess I've seen some episodes of it, but I should see
episodes. I've just seen the blonde and the midget. I don't want to see the midget naked.
Oh, you do?
It's probably like a kickstand, right?
No, he's midget penis too. Poor guy. I'm just making that up. I have no idea. I've never seen that dude's penis. I've never even watched the show. I've watched maybe an episode and a half or something. But honestly, I do want to watch that show. I want to go back and watch all. But it's another one. It's like these commitments. I don't have time for this in my life. I just don't have time to watch all this TV that I need to watch.
I hear you, dude.
Stressful.
I watched a movie this weekend. It was between Borg versus McEnroe.
Yeah.
Gotti. Gotti, not Gotti versus anybody. It's just Gotti.
Oh, you watched Gotti with John Travolta?
No, I didn't. It was between because I rented the movie. It's either going to be Gotti or Borg versus McEnroe.
Okay.
And Borg versus McEnroe had 83 percentage points more on Rotten Tomatoes than Gotti.
Gotti's got like a 0.
Yeah, so it was at an 83. So that seemed a little bit more worthy of my $3.99. Yeah. Although it was very close.
Well, what did you think of the actual movie?
I thought it was good.
Because I'd never even heard of it.
It's the story is, it's very good. It's about the
rivalry.
Yeah, it's about the first Wimbledon, not the one where McEnroe wins. It's about the one where, Borg goes for number 5.
Oh, okay.
And the one thing that like watching that movie that I don't get is it doesn't seem like people enjoy playing tennis. Like you have the 2 best in the world. You have Borg, you have McEnroe. And they just seem like they are absolutely miserable.
Now, is this a documentary or an actual like a movie?
It's a movie. Shia LaBeouf plays McEnroe. Does a very good job too. Really? The dude who plays Borg, I have no idea who he is, but and obviously Borg was miserable. He retired at 26, so he couldn't be too happy.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, this is horrible. Fuck this.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, and why do people play that game? Are there people that actually enjoy it?
I mean, I don't even know if there are people who enjoy watching it. I'm not sure.
I've seen some decent tennis matches.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
but I don't have a dog in the fight, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I could watch 2 people, and I can say, I don't care who wins. I legitimately don't care. And usually, whenever I'm watching a sport or an event, even if I don't care about 2 teams, like a football game, I'm still kind of pulling for one. So it makes it a little bit more interesting to me. Or you have a fantasy football player on the team or something, It makes you some rooting interest. But in tennis, I mean, I don't like any of the people. Like, I mean, it's not that I dislike them. I just don't.
Indifferent.
Don't care. Yeah, I don't care about them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but I mean, I would be interested. I watched the whole documentary about Andre Agassi and the school that he went to in Florida. And it was really about the school, but it was a lot about Andre Agassi because he was obviously like one of the biggest stars out there. And I thought it was really amazingly interesting. But I mean, I don't care. I don't want to watch the tennis match. I like to see the behind the scenes story, I guess, but I don't want to see any of the matches.
I will say
McEnroe was real loud. He was like he was fighting. He sounded like Serena Williams a lot, screaming at refs or umps or what do they call them?
The crowd and the ball and the other player and
breaking rackets, hitting balls at people.
Yeah, taking one shoe off and one sock and sitting on the middle of the field and sobbing.
Oh, what was his nickname? Bomber? Or wait, am I thinking of the wrong movie? You're talking about
Royal Tenenbaums.
Royal Tenenbaums, yeah. What was that kid's name? Whatever. This is going down another path. We're like out of control today.
but I do recommend that movie though.
I'll check it out.
Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, at no point in either one of their lives did it seem like they actually enjoyed tennis.
Yeah.
Like even when they were kids, it looked miserable.
Yeah, they're just like forced to do it.
Yeah.
But they're really good at it.
Yeah.
There has to be a part of them that is very competitive though, even if they like seem miserable with it. Because if you hated something, but you did it competitively, like at a professional level, but you're sick and tired of it,
Yeah.
What's gonna drive you is not your love of the game. It's your love of being the winning.
That's what I think. I think that they're like they love competing.
Yeah.
They're really talented at tennis. And they're like, well, I love competing. This is where I could compete to be number one.
Yeah. And I don't want anyone to beat me. Even if I hate this fucking game, I don't want to lose.
Right. Like apparently Borg was really good at hockey too. Like probably almost as good at hockey as he was tennis. Really? And in the movie, it kind of makes it seem like he liked hockey.
He enjoyed it.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. But like tennis, I think at no point in that movie do you think, oh wow, he really loves tennis. It seems like he hates it. When they show him as like a 9-year-old kid playing, it looks like he hates it.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Because I've done a lot of, sports, and I still compete. Like I guess it's athletic competition still. Okay. You do something. Can you do something and be the best if you love it? Don't you have to hate it? You have to hate it a little bit. And if you hate it, or at least some aspects of it, doesn't that drive you, And I'm saying basically your talent and your level of desire is there. And
yeah, at some point, you're just furious with it.
Yeah, like what makes you the best is not because I just love this game, because you're taking joy out of it. If you're taking joy in something, this sounds terrible, and that's all you get out of it is joy, then you're doing it, in my opinion, casually. If you're doing it at the highest level competitively, you're not getting joy out of it. You know what you're getting joy out of? Not losing.
Yeah.
And you're actually not so much getting joy out of it, but you know what it's like to taste defeat, and you don't want to do that anymore.
That's like the people that play for Scotty Bowman, the old Hall of Fame NHL coach. They say you hate every day that you play with him except the day you hoist the cup.
Yeah, when you're done.
Yeah.
But you won the Stanley Cup, so it was worth it. But I mean, if you look at any sport, I think I think if you're going to compete at an extremely high level, I'm not saying I think what you need to do is enjoy some aspects of it. But what's going to make you the best isn't it's something that you already have. It's the desire and competitiveness to basically never let anyone beat you. Like that's what's going to make you the best. Not I'm out there smiling with a smile from ear to ear, grinning like an idiot. No, that's not gonna. You're just gonna. If you lose, you're still having fun. No, you have to be out there killing people, and that has to be your intent. No, you're not literally killing them, but you have to have that desire to never lose. Not so much your desire to have fun.
Yeah, good example might be the Steelers.
Yeah, they have zero desire.
Our Juju Smith-Schuster, he looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah, he does.
But he does good. They ain't winning shit.
No. I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna play Atlanta this week. That's not gonna be an easy game. I mean, Matt Ryan is gonna throw for 7,000 yards against them. There's a good chance of it anyway.
Yeah.
And Ben will probably throw the ball for 60 times. And it'll be like a big shootout. Then they're gonna play Cincinnati in a game where they're gonna actually have to
slug it out,
and they don't have the defense to slug anything.
No,
they can't even slug beers with Kavanaugh. They can't hang.
Those fucking pussies are 2 beer.
Can't say the word. We already said we're not saying that word anymore.
They're 2 beer questioning.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what's going on with Steelers. It's just, to me, it looks like the team's completely in complete disarray, and it looks like they have no leadership from a coaching standpoint. And I've said they're undisciplined they've been undisciplined for a long time. Stupid penalties, just doing stupid things. Like if you're getting penalties before the snap and after the snap, if your team is like a team that gets a lot of those, you're undisciplined.
Yeah. If you get penalties before the snap, while the play is going on, and after the whistle,
Well, I guess my point is, if you get called for something during the play, that shit happens. You get called for a hold. Yeah, it's not disciplined. You have bad technique or something. But if you're getting called for false starts and you're getting called for personal fouls, those are they're you're not even playing a play, and you're giving yards away. You're completely undisciplined. So, I mean, they're not gonna make the playoffs.
So, if you're a team like the Steelers, and really, if you look at their schedule, I mean, it could be a devastating season.
I say they go over, or they have one win. I say they lose out and get that defensive tackle from Houston, because that kid looks like he's going to be a monster. First overall pick.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, do you use, say they're in the top 7 of drafting? Honestly, I don't see them winning more than 4 games this year. They're a terrible team.
Yeah, they are.
Top to bottom, they're a terrible team. They are bad. They're bad on offense. They're dreadful on special teams, and they're horrific on defense.
Well, I'll say this about their offense. They have talent on their offense. Their offensive line is not really that great. They're a good run. They're a good I mean, I would say they're a good run, but they're not running the ball. They had 14 yards in the last game.
Yeah.
So they're not even a good run blocking team. But I mean, I like Villanueva as a person, but he's not a really great left tackle or right tackle. He's not. I mean, he's a below average. Like, we're saving money on him. Most teams, their left tackle is one of the highest paid players in the team. And on our team, instead, we have wide receivers. We're paying running backs franchise $16 million a year. I mean, they're still not happy. You know, I mean, we're paying guys who are skill positions and kind of trying to put a Band-Aid on our offensive line. There are guys on the line, the Castro and Pouncey, that are good, but I don't know. It doesn't take very many injuries for the offense to be ground to a complete stop.
Right.
And they put up big numbers because they're playing from behind, and like that, maybe not the last game, but the game before, Ben threw 60 times. That's like you ever watch baseball? Guys literally like middle relief guys and the guys closers, they throw like, they have them on pitch count. They'll throw like 20, 30, you know, a guy closing may throw like 15 pitches a game. You got a guy throwing 60 times. You have to start worrying about his arm.
Yeah. But like, so say they will finish with 4 wins or less. They're drafted in the top 7 or higher. And I guess there's a quarterback out of Oregon that's the real deal. That's
what they say. I mean, I don't know. I've never watched him really play.
I haven't either. But say there is a stud quarterback, and you're talking teams in front of you are like the Jets, the Browns, the Cardinals, teams that need a quarterback. Yeah. Do you take the top quarterback, knowing that you'd spent a 3rd-round pick last year and a 4th-round pick last year?
And you still have Ben.
And you still have Ben.
No, you don't.
You don't? You don't think?
Dude, our linebackers are so pathetic.
You have a chance to get the franchise quarterback that's coming to the draft that year.
Everyone's the franchise quarterback until they show up, and they're not.
But if you have the chance to get the top quarterback in the draft class, that's something you really have to think about. Like, so you're saying we're going to build the team up and then hand it over to Mason Rudolph in 2 years?
Well, that's the thing. They have to look at how they feel about the guys they have in their roster. Lou Dobbs' money line, I thought they were going to cut him, but they kept him. But they didn't. Obviously, Rudolph, they're giving him some time. Like, he has to be, like, if you had children and you had a favorite, if those are your 2 children, it seems like Rudolph's more of their favorite. They're going to give him an opportunity to, come along. Rudolph or Lou Dobbs, they'll probably try to deal him and get something for him.
Well, you have to remember when they drafted Mason Rudolph, there was talk that they'd be drafting the following year at pick 32 instead of pick 3.
I know.
So Like that's got to change your mindset. Like, oh yeah, well, when we thought we'd be drafting at the bottom of the draft class, we didn't think we'd get a shot at this guy.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So, okay, we were one game, maybe really, we could have been a play away from hosting all the playoff games at home. And I mean, legitimately, we had a real serious chance of being a Super Bowl team.
We wouldn't have played Jacksonville last year. I know that.
Yeah, but I mean, even that game, we played like crap, really, when you think about it. But okay, and your defense was bad. They gave up 40 points to Jacksonville, but they weren't this bad. So you have Le'Veon Bell. So your cap hit on him because he's a franchise tag player. This is like you have to have $16 million. If you just let that guy go, if you can't come to a deal with him, let him go because he's not going to play hard for you, and he's not even going to show. He hasn't even shown up yet. You have $60 million to do something on your defense,
right?
And instead, that just shows the impact of one player in a negative way. This is why I always had a problem with paying guys huge contracts because. Are they worth 3 and 4 players? Like 3 and 4 starters, because that's basically $4 million guys a year.
Yeah.
That's 4 starters.
Well, I'm sure they didn't think he wouldn't show.
Hey, I called it before the season started. I said this guy will come in, he'll fake a hamstring, or you're not gonna get anything out of him this year.
That's kind of what I expected out of him. I didn't expect him to just not show up at all.
Okay, so what he can do...
that'd be a dumb idea on his part, though, because he already has a bit of a tag of being injury prone.
Yeah, well, he's coming back. This is what he said to who? ESPN or Sports Illustrated or somebody. He's coming back week 7, which is the bye week, and then the week after that is the Browns. So they can, I think it's like a roster penalty or something. Basically, I think they can suspend him. Yeah, without pay for 2 games, but they can't do that in the bye week. But they can't use it. They have to use the first 2 weeks or some shit like that, or I forget what the story is. But basically, it limits them to 1 week. So, and then he comes back if he does play. Then he's playing the Browns, so it's not like it's a tough game. But at this point, you get to the 7th. It's gonna be the 8th week of the season by the time he plays. You're out of the playoff race.
Oh yeah.
Why even have him? Like, he's worthless. He has no trade value.
I'll tell you what, I don't think the Steelers – I'm not sold on the Steelers beating the Browns with Baker.
I don't think the Steelers are beating anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at their schedule, they legitimately are going to have a hard time beating anyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Even the Browns.
Yeah.
So their one shot to beat them was the first game of the year.
Yeah, with old Tyrod in there.
Yeah, and now I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying the Browns are like a world beater. They're not a playoff team either. But we're not we can't beat them.
I think they're closer than we are.
Yeah, and Cincinnati is a borderline playoff team, and Baltimore is going to win the division.
Yeah.
And it'll be more like a Baltimore-Cincinnati battle for the playoff, for the the division-winning team.
Right?
We're gonna be sucking hind tit at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, can you imagine going from a team that should have really legitimately been in the Super Bowl to being maybe
like the last 2 years?
Yeah, maybe the top 5 worst teams in the league.
Right.
And they look like it. It's not like they've had bad luck. They've looked like the worst team. They've looked like the worst teams in football.
Yeah, I mean the fact that we beat the Buccaneers just shows how shitty the Buccaneers are.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a game that played into their advantage. Like in reality, like a huge shootout game with below average talent isn't good. Like, and I'm saying Fitzpatrick is below average talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That game goes on an extra 5 minutes and the Buccaneers win.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we got lucky there. That's our one win of the year.
We didn't run out of they ran out of time to beat us.
If you want to see a shootout with good talent, watch this week, because you're going to be in a shootout with the Falcons, who actually have a lot of talent. And you don't have any talent on defense to stop them. Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. And actually, they have their other receivers are ripping shit up too.
Dude, Keith, we should probably end this. We're getting 20. We're like 20 minutes over our normal go. So let's just we'll pick this up after we shut it off.
Yeah, sorry about the Steeler talk. But one other thing as far as news goes, at these rallies, these Alyssa Milano, she's at the hearings, she's making a point. Well, now all these celebrities are all going out and they're protesting and getting arrested. Amy Schumer, that Emily Ratajkowski with them huge knockers. And they're getting arrested for what? For no reason, because the person, they're basically, that's what the Democrats are doing to their big supporters. They're getting them arrested in the name of someone who's lying.
So Amy Schumer playing at SeaWorld this weekend.
Yeah.
She's going back to
Shamu. Wait, you're talking about actually doing a show. I thought you meant being Shamu.
I was.
Oh, okay.
It was being a single whale joke.
I can't stand her.
She's awful. She's the worst. And the most disappointing part about Amy Schumer was her first special that she actually put out on CD and everything was hilarious. When she came up, she was really funny.
Yeah, but she's a joke stealer.
Yeah, well, that's before we knew that too.
I know, but those jokes that were so hilarious were stolen.
Yeah. All the good ones were.
That wrecked her career.
Yeah. Good.
It should, because you're stealing. That's like stealing a patent off an inventor.
Yes.
Thing. I mean, if you're a comedian, that's your bread. That's how you make your money, writing your jokes.
I mean, hey, if we can't have Milli Vanilli, why should we have to deal with Amy Schumer? That's what I say.
Yeah. But in reality, the only other news story all week that I paid attention to was the U.S., Canada, and Mexico had some new NAFTA deal done. It's called USMCA. It's a United States, Mexico, Canada agreement. And oh my gosh, the world didn't come crumbling down over trade. Oh my God, they solved the problem. But a month ago was the worst.
I guess
there's always a caveat.
Yeah, I guess a lot of the tariffs are still in place though. That were put on. Yeah. Recently, those ones didn't go away. The ones on aluminum and Canadian steel and bacon and
but for American farmers, dairy farmers, it's like a windfall. That was one of the big things was all of a sudden these people in Wisconsin who they're selling their milk over the border were getting tariffed at 1,000%. Some, it was making the cost of milk skyrocket. And, it was really hurting the farmers in the Midwest, and apparently this will help. I think this may help hurt automakers or some shit like that. It's like you said, with aluminum tariffs, or if you're building parts out of the country, which they do. So I don't know, but there's a deal done. Apparently all three sides are satisfied with it.
They're happy.
Yeah, I mean, Trudeau, you listen to him whining and complaining for the last 6 months. I mean, it's dude, you're fucking Canada. We don't need you. You need us. Or if you didn't have us, you'd be frozen all year. Instead, you go to Fort Lauderdale and hang out with Nick all winter. That's what Canadians do.
Canadian rear-ended me a couple years ago.
Yeah, I bet he did. You liked it too, didn't you?
He was gentle.
Yeah. Did it do a lot of damage?
He was wrecked him and nearly killed him.
Damn, you killed him.
He was in one of those Can-Am spiders.
Oh, really?
Somebody rear-ended him into me.
Oh.
But yeah, Yeah, but
Would you
yeah,
slam on the brakes? Insurance job, you son of a
he
bitch.
was foreign and couldn't yell at me, so I yelled at him. And chased his insurance company.
He's a French Canadian.
Yeah, he was
Quebecer.
El
Yeah. I
But,
don't know how they would live there. It's terrible living in Canada.
Speaking of the old Canucks, I watched Super Troopers 2 as well this past
Oh,
week.
you did? How was that?
Very funny. The first 10 minutes just had me sold right off the bat. And then it kind of evened off a little, but still very funny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's as good as the first, but it's a good follow-up to the first.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. You know, I used to watch movies. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, I've watched for years. I saw every movie.
Yeah.
Now I don't watch any movies. I mean, if it's not on TV, I don't watch it. If it's not on, and I don't really even watch movies on Netflix because most of them are garbage.
Right.
I just watch the TV shows.
I lucked out because the wife was out of town and the air conditioning went out, so I was able to get the.
You sound real lucky.
Yeah, well, it was because I was able to get people to take the kids, so they weren't stuck in a hot house while I waited for the air conditioning guy. So I was alone. It was beautiful.
You're sweating, drinking beers.
I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I'm not going to work on the house. It's too hot. Yeah. So I sat there, watched Super Troopers 2 and drank beer. And it was
as good as it gets.
It didn't get better.
Yeah.
The highlight of my year.
You're going to be unplugging the AC more often.
I'll be up there just hitting it with a hammer. No, because then the wife will be home. Although she'll probably go somewhere with air conditioning.
Yeah. That's what I mean. She'll take the kids somewhere where it's cool. And you'll just hang out, sweating and drinking beer. All right. But we did a lousy job with the news probably, but there's really not much other than Kavanaugh. I mean, that's all people talk about.
Exactly. I feel we rebounded well. I mean, I really was in miserable shape when we started this.
Yeah.
So
I'm always, by this time, I'm ready to pee my pants anyway after sitting here for 2 hours.
Yeah, we've really added some time to this. But I think next week, Part A Sulla will be
coming back from the Art Ingram show.
Yes, that means we're going to have to stay up late on Tuesday to record probably.
Oh, you want to do it on Tuesday?
Yeah,
because we're due after.
Already at the computers.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, just let me know, and we'll figure it out.
Hell yeah. All right, later. Yeah, the